28, Washington 23. 12 minutes and 1 second left to play. 3rd down and 2. Make it 1.5. They have Joe Washington. They're treating this, the Redskins are, it looks like, as a passing situation. And that's right. And Theismann has the ball batted away by Bates. Bill Bates at the last second wrapped it away.
When you look at most valuable players on a team, Bill Bates in this game can be one of the most valuable. Look, he's up in there faking blitz. He was up in there over the center. Then he had to come all the way out to his right and cover Joe Washington man-to-man, and he gets there at the same time the ball did. He was right up in there in the middle like he was going to blitz, and he faked and ran all the way to the outside and knocked the ball down. That's a football play.
Barry Allen back deep for the Cowboys, and Jeff Hayes back to punt for the Redskins. He can run. Look out for him. Good kick again. Boy, he's had a good day punting. Allen's at the 8. Ooh, he's lucky he held onto the ball. Tonight on CBS. It begins, of course, after we're through at 60 minutes. Then murder, she wrote. The 9th annual All-Star Party for Lucille Ball and Trapper John, M.D. That's all tonight on CBS. Right now on CBS, you got a dandy. 52-yard punt by Hayes. 8-yard return. Clutch man, Bill Bates.
Well, Bill, you know, he used to be that special teams guy, and now they're using so much of that 4-0 defense. He's a middle linebacker, and now he's blitzing, covering, special teams, the whole work.
Springs and Dorsett are the runners. This is Dorsett hammered to the turf at about the 17. He picked up a couple. Neil Olkowitz knocked him down. We talked in the beginning, John, about the significance of this game last year when there was so much hoopla and build-up. It was an important game, but it looked like both teams would go to the playoffs, one as the champion and one as the wild card. This time, the way things are developing, the loser may not go to the playoffs.
It's all boiling down to 11 more minutes of football. Wish they had some deal you could press on them to get intensity level. I bet it would be up towards the top.
Right, back to throw. Better hurry, and down he goes. 4th sack. Dexter Manley back there to knock him down. They're trying to set up a screen. Here's the rush.
Well, you know, Manley comes from the backside. See, he's coming from the right-hand side of the screen. He starts upfield. Butts is on a stun. He's pushing up the middle. Look, White's trying to get the ball. He has to hold it, bring it back down, and in doing that, Dexter Manley got him. You know, this could be the potential receiver here. We see Renfro's working to the inside. Vernon Dean sees he's getting in there and says, I can't let him beat me there. So he just grabbed him and knocked him down. That's one they missed.
It's one that got away.
And that's why Danny White had to bring the ball down. And that's how Manley got there.
Manley's 2nd sack. White wisely brought it down. Here's White on the draw play. Not much there. Springs, the ball carrier. Rich Milot made the stop. There is news from Los Angeles. The record that almost everybody thought would not be broken has been. The Rams over Houston 27-16. They're in the 4th quarter. And Eric Dickerson has just broken O.J. Simpson's record. He's carried 27 times for 215 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he now has 2,007. He is truly a great back.
My buddy John Robinson may be the happiest guy of all for him. Because with his quarterbacks down, he needs that.
White gets off the good kick. Nelms handle. Gets away from one Cowboy, not another one. They are down in quick, good fashion. Nelms had no chance. 47-yard clutch punt by Danny White. No return. Norm Granger was the man down to make the stop for Dallas. 28-23. Wow.
the ultimate. A quality diamond of a carat or more.
You begin with raw steel. Shape it with fire, muscle, and sweat. Polish it to razor-sharp perfection. We're looking for a few good men with a medal to be Marines.
This is National Drunk and Drug Driving Awareness Week. Take a few minutes to think about the important responsibility you have behind the wheel of a car. Please don't drink and drive.
Side linebacker. Dallas 28, Washington 23, 9:41 left to play in a game that means who goes and who stays. Dallas, all three of their timeouts remaining. Washington just one. First and 10, Redskins. Balls at their own 45. Riggins in the backfield. Theismann outside to Don Warren, and Warren will be very close to a Redskin first down. Heckman on the coverage. 9-yard gain, a yard short perhaps.
You know, it's an interesting thing the Cowboys are doing on defense, Pat. Usually, they'll either play their 4-3, their flex defense 4-3-4, or they'll play 4-0, meaning 4 defensive linemen, 7 defensive backs. Now they're playing 5 defensive backs, 2 linebackers, and 4 defensive linemen. Bill Bates is the 5th defensive back.
Second and 2. 9:07 left to play. Theismann to Riggins. Riggins busts into the secondary. Riggins still going inside the Dallas 35. Michael Downs just couldn't get him down. Ed Jones finally came up with the assist that took Riggo to the bottom.
The only thing that Michael Downs could do is hold on until he got a little help from someone. Because when Riggins gets out there in that open field, you know, he's so big and so strong and has so much power in his legs. Watch, Downs hits him. He gives him everything he had. You know, he just come up there. He was willing. He just didn't bring a very big load with him. But he held on.
He looked like he got a ride at Disney World. 19 carries, 101 yards for Riggins. And the Redskins have just used their last time out. 28-23 with plenty of time left. 8:20. Redskins are at the Dallas 33.
I like small cars.
We need more room.
Today, Chevrolet has a car for you, the mid-size Celebrity.
Feel the room. Ride in style. Go in comfort every mile.
Enjoy mid-size room with economy and a price that's surprisingly small. Celebrity.
Lots of stuff here. If this is today's Chevrolet, I like it.
And we need it.
Drive today, Chevy. Live today, Chevy.
Live it.
Chevy.
AT&T is in music.
You kept me dancing.
How? With our people. People who can show record companies how to use our AT&T long-distance network to fill orders electronically from distributors all over the country. So the music never stops.
You got me dancing, dancing, dancing.
The people of AT&T Communications. We're thinking about your business in ways you never thought of.
Monday, personal differences erupt.
You're hooked on Dory McKenna, same as he is on drugs.
Professional demands clash. The line is drawn for Cagney and Lacey.
You get yourself another partner, baby.
The Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys. You really don't need to furnish much build-up for that match. It's one of the great rivalries in pro football, and it sure has lived up to it today. 28-23. A reverse coming, and it's Art Monk faced by a Cowboy who beats Michael Downs, and Monk goes down inside the 15, about the 18-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds. Downs was up, but Monk was too strong.
I'll tell you, that was a heck of a move by Art Monk, because that didn't fool Michael Downs. This play could have gone for a loss, could have taken all the wind out of the Redskins' sails. But Monk gets the ball from Riggins right here. Now watch the move that he gets by Downs with. He gives him the inside, and then, as you say, his strength He gave him a straight arm with the right hand. Then he's up the sideline, and he makes a big, big play out of what could have been disaster.
He got 17 yards and a Redskin first down. 8:11 left to play. Ball's at the 15-yard line. And Theismann retreats and throws down the middle. Incomplete, and there is no yellow flag. Clint Didier was the intended receiver. Downs was there with him.
They look like two defenders right there with Didier. The ball is going to be thrown to him. He comes down. He's running an in pattern right there in the goal line. There's Downs in there behind him. Clinkscale was in front of him. Looked like he just dropped it, didn't he?
That's what it looked like.
He was looking back. He was trying to find a little help from the official.
Yeah. 8:07 left to play. Monk started in motion one way, comes back the other way, and Theismann's looking in his direction. He's got Monk. And Monk doesn't quite get in. Everson Walls took him out of bounds, but it'll be first and goal Redskins.
Art Monk comes across in motion. You see him at the end of his motion. He stops, runs just a very quick out on Everson Walls, beats him to the sideline. Now look, he's looking at him. He has that shoulder and that straight arm ready, puts that left straight arm. He wanted touchdown down there, put that straight arm out there, and Walls just grabbed the straight arm.
60 minutes following football, except on the West Coast. First and goal, Redskins at the 1. Monk has caught 6 passes. Look for Riggins left. He got Riggins left. He didn't make it. Dutton was the first man to hit him. They have to have a touchdown. Although in this situation, if they don't get it, they probably would settle for a field goal.
It'll be an interesting thing here as we see Joe Gibbs calling the play. In a game a couple of weeks ago, Joe Theismann, or maybe it was their last game, Theismann called a running play, and on his own, faked the ball, kept it, bootlegged it into the end zone. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't do it in this series.
That's usually when a bootleg works best, when you don't tell anybody else. They give to Riggins, and Riggins doesn't get in.
Now is the time for the bootleg, the third down.
Clock is running with 7 minutes left to play, 7:05, but before they get another one off, it'll be less than 7.
You know, of all the plays, of all the ways that the Cowboys have improved on defense, I think their goal line defense has improved the most.
Thurman checks in and now goes back out.
I think he just brought in a message.
I think he did.
Probably watch out for the bootleg.
Riggins and Wansley are behind Theismann, who might just go with a quarterback sneak. He gives to Riggins, and Riggins is hammered at the goal line. Touchdown. He got in. Joe Jacoby, I'm just looking at, staggering around the field. Riggins got the touchdown. Jacoby is having trouble staying upright, but Riggins did get in.
I know one thing, we're right here, right down the line. The football has to break the plane of the goal line. We saw it there. Riggins had his shoulder, the ball, and everything on the goal line.
The Redskins go back ahead. 29-28. 30-28 as Mosley hits the extra point. The Redskins went 55 yards in 8 plays. 3:07. Washington 30, Dallas 28. Back to New York and Brent Musburger.
Well, Pat and John, here's the record breaker. The magnificent Eric Dickerson rushes for 215 yards, a year in which he gained 2,007 yards, eclipsing the great O.J. Simpson, the single-season rushing record. More importantly, Pat, of course, the Rams win it. Now they're 10-5. They're closing in on a wild card spot. And, Pat, I don't think John Madden has seen too many backs any better than Eric Dickerson either.
Brent, I wouldn't think so, because I know that I haven't.
I don't know if I would have known how to coach it, but I'll tell you, Brent, here's one that's not bad. When you get down there around the goal line and you give it to this guy, John Riggins, 3 times in a row, you know that you're going to get a touchdown. Watch him just barrel that thing in there. He's going man-to-man there with Lockhart. They hit. but right there you can see that he's over and scored the touchdown. He's a man's man, a football player's football, a fullback's fullback, and a touchdown getter's touchdown getter.
And a tough guy to go along with all that.
All those things. But that Eric Dickerson runs a lot faster, though. He's prettier. I think he's prettier when he runs.
He claims he's not pretty.
I think he's prettier than Riggins when he runs up.
He is to John Robinson, I'm sure. Hayes' kickoff goes to Chuck McSwain, who downs it in the end zone. The Cowboys will come out to their 20-yard line. 6:29 left to play. The Cowboys have 3 timeouts remaining. The Redskins have none. And they lead. The Redskins do by 2. Riggins Day, 22 carries, 102 yards, and a touchdown.
And he just wants to get this thing over with, I'm sure.
Why is he rubbing his left leg? That's Raphael Septien.
Well, that's his plant leg, see, and they have to concentrate on that leg and tell that leg to plant well when they kick with the right leg. That's what they do.
Well, with a score like it is, he may need both legs, plant and kick.
I'll tell you, though, with a score like that, if I had to have a kicker on my side, that's the guy I'd want doing it.
I agree. 30-28. Redskins leading as White drops the throw, has time. Incomplete. Flags are down. It's going to be roughing the passer.
Oh, and you talk about things that upset a coach. I'm sure Joe Gibbs is going crazy on that one. You just get the score. You just go ahead. You just get the momentum. Then you have a guy, after an incomplete pass, you have a guy hit the quarterback and get a 15-yard penalty. Those are coach killers.
What's the foul? Roughing the passer, 71 defense.
Charles Mann.
Watch that. You see the ball is already gone. Danny White's just standing there watching it, and Charles Mann comes and hits him from behind. He really didn't look like he meant to. I mean, he said, I didn't mean it. I didn't want to do it, but maybe he was pushed into him, shoved into him, but he sure did give him a shot from behind.
That's the 3rd personal foul for Washington today, the 2nd by Mann. First down, Dallas, their own 35. Dorsett and Springs are the 2 backs now. To Dorsett. Dorsett to midfield. First down. Vernon Dean stopped him.
I'll tell you, we talk about John Riggins, toughness, short yardage, Eric Dickerson, being pretty, but you want to see a quick guy. Watch Tony Dorsett. Once he gets this little trap draw, he hits that thing to trap the guard, fold and trap run. Crap, he hit that thing, split right off that trap. He was into that secondary before they got out of their stance.
It's been a tough year for Tony Dorsett. On top of everything else that's happened to him, the struggling year for the Cowboys. His car was broken into Friday night. 1st and 10, and White goes back to throw, has time, goes for Hill, and it's incomplete, and there the flag. Mike Renfro, the intended receiver. I think this is going to be offensive.
This could be offense. They get the officials talking, the players. They're saying, let's get away. Let's go over here and talk by ourselves.
If that's against Washington, they're in field goal range.
Hey, whatever it is, it's a big one.
Disregard the flag. There is no foul. The ball could not have been caught.
Joe Gibbs says, whew, we dodged one there. Watch it. It's a 2 players right there at the top.
All could not have been caught, they say. There's a little push by Renfro.
I don't know how they can decide. I don't like that rule. Whether it was a penalty or not, I think that's a dumb, and that's what Joe Gibbs is saying there. But how do you know if the ball could have been caught?
Well, I remember in the playoff game, the championship game, as a matter of fact, last year in Washington when the 49ers thought there were a couple of bad calls, Bill Walsh said nobody on the Boston Celtics could have caught that ball. So how do you know? Here come the Redskins blitzing. White got some room. Oh, he's got Tony Hill. He had him.
That's the thing Danny White was talking about yesterday. He said, you know, having the new guys playing, the Renfros and the Donnellys and so on, He said, the big thing is he said, when I scramble, I'm not sure where they are. He said, the other guys, when I would scramble, I'd always know where they were. And I think that's what he did to Tony Hill right there. He said, I had a scramble. Now I want to find someone I know. It's Tony Hill. Oh, look at his reaction and Tom Landry's reaction. Danny's saying, I'm upset. Tom's saying, I'm upset. I'll tell you, they're both going to have a decision at the end of this season.
Isn't that the truth? 5:23 left to play, 3rd and 10.
I think a lot of that decision depends on these last 5 minutes and who wins this game.
Out of the shotgun come the Cowboys. White under pressure and gets rid of somebody to bunt. Now they say he's in the grass. They say he was in the grass. The Redskins come up with the interception. But they say they had him. 5:14 left to play. 5th sack by the Redskins.
You know, it was funny. The defensive linemen, they always want a sack. They always want to get there. They always want to get the quarterback. That time, they were there. They had him in the grass, and they call it. Now, watch. Then Brooks was the most upset guy. See, he has him there. Okay, now the whistle is blown. But Danny White gets rid of the ball, throws an interception. Brooks was down there complaining to the official, saying, I didn't have him, because they got an interception.
So Danny White is back to punt. Mike Nelms back deep to the Redskins. Good kick by White. Chasing Nelms. Handles it, is hit and hammered by Chuck McSwain and knocked out of bounds way back at about the 13-yard line. A 48-yard punt by White. And that's what they net. Nelms was lucky to hold on.
I don't compete anymore, but I still pump iron. So after lifting a few hundred pounds, it's nice to lift one of these. Light beer from Miller. Light tastes great, and it's less filling with 1/3 less calories than the regular beer. Now, you know, bodybuilding is hard work, but having a great body has its advantages. It sure makes it easy to pick up guys. Hi, Rodney.
Oh, well, hi there. What's going on here? Hey, honey, how about a lift home, huh?
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer. And less.
This is today's Chevrolet.
Come on in, take the wheel, start it up, get the feel of the road that goes on. Straight ahead, on your own, the light turns green and you're going on the road that goes on. The road goes on. You're today's Chevy, be today's Chevy, drive today's Chevy, live today's Chevy.
Live it.
Chevy.
Next Saturday at CBS Sports begins with the NFL today. And then the Giants in their crucial match at Giant Stadium against the New Orleans Saints. And then on Sunday, the NFL today begins it. And then St. Louis goes to Washington, the Bears, Detroit. A lot of things still unsettled. We will unscramble them next week on CBS after we get through with the day on CBS. Heisman to Riggins, and Riggins in the grasp of Dutton still manages to crumble and rumble for a few yards. They kept him in the game, as you pointed out at the half, John, and it's paid off.
Well, of course, that's paid off, and the turnovers have paid off, too. In the first half, the Cowboys didn't have it, and then they started turning it over. Then the Redskins were able to get back in the game, get Riggins back in the game, get Riggins his 100-yard, and play Redskin-type football, which they're doing now.
That's keep that clock running, and they're doing that now with 4 minutes and 8 seconds left to play. Riggins is the lone setback. You can bet he'll get it again. Riggins is hit by Clinkscale. Short of the first down by a couple. Now, there was some, in the first match between these two, there were some comments that passed back and forth between Clinkscale and Riggins. Big John said, if I get in the secondary, I might go looking for number 47.
That's what he said. If I break through, he said, I'm going to just go find Mick 47. 47 was looking for Riggins on that play, and he gave him a pretty good pop. But, you know, Clinkscale was saying yesterday, he said, I didn't say that to upset it. What Clinkscale's quote was, He said that the Redskin offensive line was so good that anyone could gain that many yards behind the hog. He said even I could do it. That offended Riggins.
Third and short. Look out for Theismann. Here's what I was thinking about. Yes, sir. Don Warren. Eugene Lockhart.
I have no idea why Don Warren cut back to the inside. He had the hole outside all the way up the field. But watch everyone take this fake. They're all looking at Riggins. We got to stop him. What? There's Downs in there, Lockhart's in there, the whole thing. Now watch Warren. He has the outside here. He cuts back to the inside. He's trying to find a defensive back to hit.
18 yards, nevertheless. And the clock runs with 2:40 left to play, and the Redskins have their first down. He had nothing but space.
He could have ran right up the sideline for a touchdown, it looked like.
There is Wansley. So pull it all out now. No matter how valuable he is on special teams, now Joe Gibbs is using Wansley.
Well, as Joe said, it all boils down to this game. This is it. He said you go your training camp, the toil, the practice, the hard work, the injuries, the replacements. It all boils down to this one day. This is it. We're either in or we're out.
Cowboys use a timeout. They still have 2 left. December the 22nd. The Sun Bowl on CBS will have the Maryland Terrapins against Tennessee live at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Good match there. Then the Peach Bowl in Atlanta, December 31st. We'll have Purdue against Virginia live at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. And then, of course, the other one, the Boston College against Houston at the Cotton Bowl. The Boston College team, of course, led by Doug Flutie, who's probably captured more imagination and more notoriety than perhaps any college football player in a long time.
He sure has. He has a lot of charisma. You know, they always say, is he big enough? Is he this or is that? He's right here with us today, and I'll guarantee you he can play. You know, he's the guy that's going to set the standards. You don't worry about big enough or not.
Let's see what the standard is here now. 2nd and 8. 2:26 left to play. Theismann outside to Monk, who's hit quickly by Everson Walls. Short of a first down. 6-yard gain. 2 minutes, 16 seconds left to play. The clock continues to run as Monk continues to close in on the all-time pass receiving record.
And now we're at 3rd down again. We have that same situation, Pat, where you're talking about 3rd and 2. You can treat that as short yardage, put Riggins in and run him, or you can treat it as long or passing yardage and put Joe Washington in. Interesting decision.
What? Riggins is down on the side. There's Doug Flutie. You had a chance to talk with him earlier, John.
I know I did. You know, the thing that I like about Doug Flutie is, I say, you know, you talk about these guys too small. I'm sure that he's enjoying watching Joe Theismann here. You know, they said the same thing about Joe Theismann. This guy's won a lot of things. I mean, you know, you're talking about a guy who's an All-American, Heisman Trophy winner, that great game down there against Miami, a great career he's had. He was telling me, he said that he wants to play in the NFL, and he thinks he'll wait for the NFL draft.
60 minutes comes up following football, except on the West Coast, as Riggins comes in place of Wansley. Again, you have that threat of Riggo. You also have the threat of doing again what Theismann did a minute ago.
What would you do here, Doug? Would you run or pass?
Riggins is back with 3rd and 2. The ball at 48. Dallas down to 1 timeout. Theismann looking both ways and yelling. He's going to throw. He looks for Monk. Ball fouled away. They'll have to punt. Cowboys will get another chance. Hegman gets a hand in and knocks it away. Mike Hegman bats it down.
It was the guy you watched right there. He just got, they were trying to get it to Don Warren out here. Hegman just got his right arm in, knocked that ball down. Doug Flutie said he would have passed on that down too.
Nice to know he agrees with Joe Gibbs and Joe Theismann.
No, he said it before, though. He didn't say it after. Didn't you, Doug? Okay.
Allen back deep for Dallas, and Jeff Hayes will punt for the Redskins.
I would have run to Riggins.
I would have, too. It doesn't appear that they're going to try to put the pressure on, although Bates now is starting to load the gun. Here they come. Hayes gets it away. Good kick. throws it on the run. Is taken down at about the 28-yard line. With 1:58 left to play, they passed the 2-minute warning. Redskins 30, Cowboys 28.
Glad you could be a part of this.
For his enshrinement into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Mr. Sonny Jurgensen.
Vince Lombardi and all the others.
I never thought I would be here, but to be here in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, it's like coming home again. It's a dream when you come from North Carolina and a little school down there, and then you play at Duke University, a team that really didn't throw the ball very much. Very fortunate to get in professional football.
As an NFL quarterback, Sonny threw for over 30,000 yards. He's still ranked as the #1 lifetime passer in the NFC. Vince Lombardi said of Sonny, the thing about Jurgensen is he always wanted to win so fiercely. All the great ones have that.
Hall of Fame is a great place. I'm sure that some young kid could come in here and look at these things and make a decision whether or not he would like to be a professional football player.
This is where all those dreams come true, in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. Don't miss it.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
Here's Doug Flutie, the guy that would have passed when they passed. What do you think of this excitement? Is this what you want to do?
Better believe it. This is a great game and a great stadium and a great atmosphere in the NFL.
And you'd like to be a part of the NFL someday?
I'd love to.
Huh?
I would.
Oh, great. Congratulations and best luck.
Thank you.
Well, there's a guy who really caught some excitement and some lightning in a bottle, didn't he?
I'll tell you, he just knows how to throw and do things and win, play, compete. Words like that you don't measure with a yardstick.
Cowboys down to 1 timeout. 1:58 left to play. Redskins up by 2 points. White out on the shotgun. Here comes a Redskin blitz. He gets it outside. He's got Springs, and Springs gets out of bounds. That didn't take long. 5 seconds they burned.
I'll tell you, these are important decisions right here. What the Cowboys are thinking, they aren't thinking touchdown. All they need is a field goal. So they need about 30 more yards, and then they'll be in Septien's automatic range.
Well, I tell you, I've been in that situation myself many times, and I know that he is aging rapidly right now. It's Ben Agachanian, the kicking coach, talking to him. Protection is good, but nothing else is. A loss of 7. Vernon Dean with the big play. Dorsett caught the ball and did well to hold on to it.
Well, Vernon Dean is the right corner. I mean, he's the inside guy here. He's going to be coming up from the right-hand side. I think he was playing man-to-man on Dorsett all the way. He wasn't playing the corner. He was playing the safety, and he read Dorsett and went with him all the way.
White gets some time, throws intended for Cosby, and now the season comes to 1 play.
Well, I don't know if it's 1 play. Yep, it sure does. It's 4th down. That is coming to 1 play.
Here comes James Jones in from the sideline with whatever that 1-play choice will be. Dorsett strolls over to the Dallas sideline. It's 30-28 Washington.
I'll tell you, it may be more than just 1 play, and it may be more than just a season. It could be a lot. Could have a lot to do with Danny White's future.
Certainly could. He has Tony Hill wide to the left. He has Cosby and Donnelly to the right. Going to have time to do something. Receiver fell down. It was intended for Ron Springs, and he slipped down, and that should put Washington into the driver's seat.
There it is right here. He's looking for Ron Springs, who's going to come from the right-hand side of the screen into the middle. And we see him looking here, and just as he throws it, Ron Springs fell down. Linebackers were there and said, I'm not going to get that.
This is before the snap of the ball. Tom Landry looking. Inside, he said. Inside. Redskins can just sit there, and the clock will run with 1:14 to go, and the Cowboys take their last time out. But that sort of makes it all rather meaningless now. The executive producer of the NFL on CBS is Terry O'Neill, who also produced this game so well. Charles Milton III is the senior producer. Sandy Grossman directed. Joan Vitrano, the associate producer. Stu Meyer, the field technical manager. Audio by Bob Siderman and Freddie Lopez. Rest of the guys. This game was everything and has been, and perhaps still is, everything we thought it would be.
I'll tell you, we always talk about words like intensity and being up, but this one sure had it. They knew what was on the line here today, and they both came out here ready to fight for it all the way, and that's what we've had.
Well, I was talking to Sonny Jurgensen before the game. He said, there are a lot of nevers in this game, because the Redskins have never beaten Dallas twice in the same season, regular season. That tells you who's winning right there. But that never we can file away in some other suitcase. Because now they have. They beat them the first time handily up in Washington. And they've beaten them again here at Texas Stadium.
Well, Joe Gibbs said it all came down to this one day, but I'm sure they'll be able to savor this for a few minutes. Then they have to start thinking of that St. Louis Cardinal game next week.
They do entertain St. Louis next week at RFK, and here's what it'll look like when we head into next week. Next Saturday, the NFL Today will start it at noon. The Eastern Division standings: Washington will be 10-5, Dallas 9-6, the Giants 9-6, and St. Louis 9-6. And there's so many possibilities about who could be the wild card teams that it's hard to summarize in the brief time that we have. But obviously Washington is in the driver's seat. They lead the division. There goes the penalty marker. Now Fellows and Group get into a little straight. Randy White is down at the bottom.
This is going to be a real one. This is where all the frustrations come out now.
Another little fracas up at the top of the Jeff Cope and Huff. Let's have a go.
Look at Pete Cronin out there. Put your helmet on, number 54. One thing you always learn is you never go out there without a helmet on. Well, it's too bad it does have to end this way. That's what Theismann's saying. Doggone it, get off the field. We won this game. Don't do anything to upset it.
I didn't see what started it.
Well, it was the hit on Theismann. See Ron Fellows come in here and hit Theismann.
That was unnecessary.
It was, and they did call that.
That was Randy White with Mark May. They do a body slam.
The defense has no timeouts, and they're behind. The game is over.
Defense has no timeouts. They're behind. The game is over. And I think that is a wise decision. The referee's got the ball, and he's gone. They can stay at play if they want to, but they'll have to do it without an agony. Landry departs. Joe Gibbs leaves happily. A very, very disgusting long day for Landry and a rewarding one for Joe Gibbs. The final score: the Redskins 30, the Cowboys 28. Coming up next, the NFL Today, the wrap-up show with Brent Musburger. They'll tell you all the possibilities. This one ended with the Redskins on top by 2.
Come on, America, discover the book. Open up a brand new world. Heroes in history, action and victory. Come on, America, discover the book. Triumph and tragedy, romance and mystery. Come on,
Introducing a computer that can change the way you work. The new Tandy 1000, complete with desk-mate software for easy-to-use word processing, filing, worksheets, scheduling, communications. Brought to you by Tandy, clearly superior for service, support, and software. The Tandy 1000, available at Radio Shack computer centers and so affordable. Tandy technology, service, and support are clearly superior.
60 Minutes is coming up, except on the West Coast. You'll see the course at its regularly scheduled time. Now let's quickly look at the playoff picture. Chicago and San Francisco in the NFC. Next Sunday, Washington and St. Louis will meet for the NFC Eastern Division title. The Rams are on the driver's seat as far as the wild card is concerned. In the AFC, 4 teams are in the playoffs. The Raiders qualified today. Either Pittsburgh or Cincinnati will get in next week. These are all final scores now from around the league, and what drama unfolded down in Dallas. What a tremendous comeback by the Washington Redskins, 30-28 in the second half. The Los Angeles Rams, led by Eric Dickerson, who broke O.J. Simpson's single-season rushing record, and the Rams push their mark now to 10-5. Denver beat San Diego 16-13. Denver will play for the AFC West next Saturday afternoon against Seattle. St. Louis beats the Giants by 10. Philadelphia downs New England by 10 points also. And the Pittsburgh Steelers come back to beat Cleveland. The final in that one was 23-20. Cincinnati over New Orleans. And the Bengals, of course, can win if the Steelers cannot handle the Raiders next Sunday out in Los Angeles. Tampa Bay beats Atlanta 23-6. Kansas City upsets Seattle this afternoon 34-7. Miami beats Indianapolis, and now the Dolphins could have the home field advantage all the way. And Green Bay beats Chicago 2014. Next Saturday, we'll be on the air at noon here, and then we'll bring you the New Orleans Saints and the New York Giants. I'm Brent Musburger. So long, everybody.
You've been watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.
United is the first and only airline to serve all 50 states. Fly the friendly skies.
You're not just flying, you're flying the friendly skies.
Every Monday, people talk about what was on 60 Minutes Sunday. Don't be left out. 3 more stories this week they'll be talking about next week, this evening on CBS.